but we'll go ahead and get going with the webinar. Thanks everybody for joining us. We're really excited to bring this to you guys this morning. We'll go ahead and get started with today's agenda. So we're going to talk a little bit about, first of all, we're just going to talk about UHF, RFID, talk a little bit about TransTech's position with that, and some of the markets that we see for our channel. There's really great crossover with security and access control and some of the other things that we currently do. Going to go over a few of those solutions. We're also going to talk a little bit about Impinj and hand it over to Peter when it gets to that point and talk about the technology platform and what Impinj has to offer. And then towards the end, we're going to take some questions. If you guys want to ask any questions as they come up, right over on the right-hand side, you should see a chat box. Just go ahead and type in your questions as they come up with you guys, and we'll deal with those towards the end of the presentation. So we're going to start off by talking a little bit about TransTech systems. A lot of you guys that are with us today know TransTech. You've worked with us before. We have been a long-time solutions provider for the security market, primarily in credentialing, ID badging, and access control. About two years ago, we took on UHF. We really saw it as a great crossover opportunity. There's a lot of technologies that exist right now that can be entwined and integrated with UHF. A lot of what we do currently, we saw really strong growth potential, really strong market for the UHF platform to not only expand on what we do, but also tie in and really add value to a lot of our existing platforms. So far, like I said, we've been about 2 years into it, and so far the growth has just been exponential. I mean, it's been very, very strong in a lot of our key markets and solutions that we have. So that's something that we really see going forward as far as our dealer channel and everything. There's a lot of potential in there for not only new systems, but actually adding on to existing systems. A lot of our core customers, as far as schools, hospitals, evidence tracking, security, physical plant, all those things are really primed for UHF going forward. A little over a year ago, we actually started talks with Impinj, and we're very, very excited to be partnered with them. We have a really strong tradition of partnering with just market-leading technology providers, and Impinj just absolutely, their platform, their technology, and what they do is by far the best we've seen out there. So a little bit about UHF as a technology. There are multiple points of UHF that not only outpace what's currently on there, but really add some unique and innovative options. One of the best things is there's a worldwide standard. It's called Gen2 EPC, and what it is essentially is it's a cross-platform. So any manufacturer is going to be adhering to this Gen2 standard. So you're not going to run into those conflicting or competing formats. You're not going to run into readers that don't work with certain tags or anything like that. Everything is completely cross-platform, a single technology and a single way that they communicate with each other. In addition to that, UHF has, most readers will get you up to about 400 tags a second. So there's so much ability to read and read instantly. You don't have to do a single presentation. It's not one-to-one where a single tag is going through and being read. It can read multiple tags all at the same time, and it can do so from a distance of about up to 30 feet. You don't have to actually be within 4 or 5 inches of a reader. You can tune it to where you're getting very long distances. UHF tags are, and this continues to come down, but the cost of it for labels are you're looking at anywhere from 20 to 50 cents for real label, tag, any sort of asset tracking, as opposed to an HF card, which will be up to about $2 sometimes. Many brands, major brands, talking about large retailers, large manufacturers, are all embracing this. They see the value in it, not only in their supply chain, but actually getting out to consumers, both in the retail side and as for tracking, as far as sorry about that. The other thing we see is a very strong growth curve. If you look at HF, there's a lot of potential there. I mean, the HF is going to grow, but not in the way that UHF is. There's going to be a lot of the market that's going to go to UHF that's actually going to take from some of those HF solutions and platforms. So one of the first things that we want to talk about here is one of our strongest markets is with actual physical security. So when you're talking about either assets being tagged and tracked, or you're talking about one of the things that you can do with UHF is you can actually tag assets in a very inconspicuous way. You're talking about maybe up to 2 inches, very small tag. It can be placed on the inside of an asset, very inconspicuous. You can also associate that with a personnel badge, so that when you have an asset either leaving the building or coming into the building, you can actually register who it was, what the item was, and when it actually entered. This expands really well into inventory management. So when you talk about items that are either missing or items that are present that shouldn't be there, you can do that very easily with UHF without actually having to physically, manually check each item. You can also tie it in really well. We have a great platform for security, so existing IP and CCTV systems. You can actually tie that in really well with UHF, so that not only can you get a time and date stamp of when your item was present or was not present, you can also pull up an actual video feature of that with those CCTV systems. Go to the next one. And another really strong place that we see UHF going into is access control. Right now, I would say by far the predominant technology is HF, or LF and HF in access control. UHF offers quite a few advantages over those systems. First of all, you can take a regular badge, looks absolutely like your existing badges. They're printable, regular PVC cards. But with UHF, you can actually do that as a hands-free, kind of a, again, inconspicuous. The personnel won't even know. They just enter the building. You don't have to present it to a reader, wait for a response or anything like that. When you're doing it, the actual design and installation of these systems are very similar to standard access control systems. You have a reader, you have an access point, you can tie it to individual badge, you can filter those badges to give certain access levels to certain badges. You can set times and things of that nature. So it's very similar. Most RFID readers, UHF readers, and the ones we're talking about today are all PoE. So it's very simple to install. They don't need to be at an actual line of sight or anything like that. You can hide them up above like a drop tile of the ceiling. You can put it in as a portal. There's quite a few things you can do that makes it a lot more seamless as opposed to walking up and actually presenting it to a door mount reader. Another benefit of it is that a single reader can actually support multiple doors and entry points. They can do that simultaneously. So you don't have to have one-to-one as far as an access control unit to a door, actually doing the logic. One reader can handle multiple entry points using that logic. Another really interesting thing about UHF is that it can distinguish the difference between ingress and egress. You can actually tell when somebody's walking in versus walking out. It's real simple. It's just a 2-antenna system that you can do that says point A to point B, that's coming in, then point B to point A, that's going out. So you can use it for time and attendance systems. You can also use it for when people are entering or leaving. And you can also tie it in with actual assets. So you can say this asset, this person left the building at this time, which gives a lot of value as far as physical security. So I think now I'm going to turn it over to Peter, and he's going to talk a little bit about Impinj, a little bit about their technology platform. I'll let you guys know what they do.
Hi, everyone. Thanks, Adam. Nice to meet you. As Adam mentioned earlier, my name is Peter Horton, and I'm the Global Channel Programs Manager at Impinj. And we've been working with TransTech now for a little over a year, so it's quite exciting to be here with him today to introduce you all to Impinj. So thanks again for taking the time to join us. Now, earlier, Adam talked about some of the differences between UHF versus HF and LF RFID technologies. So today, my main focus is going to be to introduce you to Impinj as a company and our position within the UHF market, as well as provide you with a broad overview of our current product offerings. Now, when it comes to UHF RFID, Impinj is indeed the global leader. Unlike most RFID manufacturers, our business is committed 100% to UHF RFID. It's all we do, and it's this core focus that truly differentiates us from other vendors. And in addition to that core focus, we're the only vendor to provide a true platform for partner innovation. We offer what is called the Grand Prix platform, which consists of 3 distinct product categories that cover the core components of RFID technology. And as a result, our all-encompassing RFID platform offers us a unique position within the UHF space. We see technical and business trends from both the reader side and the tag side of things, which provides us with the opportunity to move quickly in bringing new innovations to end users and, of course, new business opportunity for our channel partners. The Impinj Grand Prix platform consists of 3 primary product families. We have our Monza tag chips, our Speedway fixed readers and antennas, and our Indy reader chips. Now, I'll talk about each of these product families in more detail, but before I do that, I'd like to walk you through Impinj's involvement in UHF RFID. Now, when it comes to UHF, Impinj has been a key innovator and contributor to advancing the technology. Earlier, Adam talked about how one of the key benefits of UHF was that it has a single worldwide standard as opposed to having competing standards found in other frequency ranges. Impinj played a key role in making that happen back in 2004. In 2005, we introduced our the first Gen 2 tag chip. In 2006, we introduced the first dense reader mode, or DRM reader, and this enabled large-scale multi-reader applications for complex RF environments. In 2007, we introduced the first near-field UHF solution for the pharmaceutical industry. And again, one of the key benefits of UHRFID is its ability to be used in both near and far-field applications. In 2008, we introduced the first reader chip through the acquisition of Intel's RFID group. And I'll talk a little bit more about this product in just a moment. In 2009, Impinj delivered Autopilot, the world's first and only intelligent auto-sensing RFID fixed reader. Essentially, our Speedway readers have the ability to adjust themselves to changing RF environments so that they operate at maximum performance at all times. In 2010, we were the first to address omnidirectional read capability and advanced security features for RFID tags through the introduction of our Monza QT and 3D features. And in 2011, we introduced the world's first phased array portal reader, the Speedway X portal. And again, I'll talk about this here in just a moment as well. In 2012, we introduced tag chip self-serialization, which will ultimately enable scalability for large tag deployment. And just this year, we introduced the first Power over Ethernet phased array reader system with the Speedway X array. So as you can see, we have a long history of being first to market in the UHF space, and it's our core focus that allows us to continue to being first to market and truly innovators in this in the UHF band. UHF has indeed reached a tipping point. All of the key attributes of a successful market opportunity are present. Early adopters are producing compelling ROI cases. The vendor ecosystem is maturing, providing better interoperability and ease of use for end users. And the cost of capital and recurring investments has decreased significantly, making UHF more appealing to prospective end users. And as Adam mentioned earlier, as the technology continues to be adopted, that capital investment will continue to go down.
And this is one of the things, Peter, that we really saw as a growth opportunity here. There's a lot of crossover with what we currently do, and the fact that the technology is maturing to a point where you're getting those advanced ROIs, where you're getting a lot more things that you can do with it, and that the early people have done with it already. We really saw it as a point right now where it's a great time to get into this market.
Absolutely. And again, we're seeing some of the key drivers that are fueling that growth are retail visibility, anti-counterfeiting, and of course, asset tracking. So next, I'd like to take a few minutes and introduce you to our product portfolio. First, we have our Monza tag chips, which are the highest selling UHF tag chip on the market. In fact, we've sold more than 5 billion of them to date. Now, we don't make finished RFID labels or tags, just the tiny little chip that is essentially the brain of the tag. We then work with the leading tag manufacturers from around the world like Avery Dennison and SmartTrack and Confidex, who develop RFID tags based on our chipset technology. Our Monza tag chips power the majority of the UHF tags available and provide distinct benefits when working in conjunction with our Speedway readers. And again, we have #1 market share for RFID tag chips in the UHF space. Next, we have our Indy reader chips. Now, similar to the Monza chip, the Indy chip is like a brain too. It's what enables RFID read and write capability into products and items. Think of a handheld terminal or an RFID-enabled printer, or even an interactive soda dispenser like the Coca-Cola Freestyle. With our Indy chips, you can enable just about anything to be an RFID reader. In fact, the majority of the handheld and fixed readers available on the market today are actually powered by Indy reader chips. So many of the Motorola and the ThingMagic and the Scions out there, inside of them are Impinj Indy chips. And lastly, we have our own line of fixed RFID readers and antennas, the Speedway product line, which are the most widely deployed UHF fixed readers today. Now, for most of you on the call, this will be the primary product group that you will be working directly with. And within this product group, we have our Speedway Revolution reader. It's available in both a 2- and a 4-port version. And as Adam mentioned earlier, one of the unique benefits of UHF is you can have multiple read points. With the Speedway Revolution, you can actually connect a Speedway antenna hub, which will allow you to connect up to 32 antennas to a single 4-port reader. Overall, it's one of the highest performing and most reliable readers available. And in addition to the Revolution, we also have our Speedway X portal, which is essentially a reader and antenna in a single package. And the X-array portal system utilizes our dual linear phased array antenna technology. We can talk more about that offline if you're interested in that. Now, all of our reader products offer power over Ethernet and also feature our autopilot technology, which I mentioned earlier. Again, this is that feature that allows the reader to continually monitor the RF environment, ensuring that it's maximizing its performance at all times. And in addition to our reader products, We also offer a selection of application-specific antennas for near-field, far-field, and transitional field applications. And by transitional field, I mean antennas that can read both at very close ranges and at very long distances. And lastly, we have several software solutions and accessories for our reader products, like the antenna hub that I mentioned earlier. Next, I'd just like to give you a quick look at some of the innovations our partners have brought to market using our technology. As we talked about earlier, we're seeing widespread adoption of this technology across all market segments. And so really, as you can see, the sky really is the limit when it comes to UHF RFID applications. With its ability to read both near and far, UHF applications really have boundless limits. So as you can see, people are using this technology from everything to race timing, tracking medical devices and medical inventory, operational configuration and customer user experience, like with the Coca-Cola Freestyle, anti-counterfeiting, brand protection, tracking food throughout the supply chain. We're seeing a lot of focus on fashion and retail, as well as logistics and security. And of course, we want to help you bring your innovations and customer solutions to market, which brings me to the last topic that I'd like to talk about today, which is the Impinj Global Partner Network. Now, before we open up the questions to the question and answer session, I'd like to briefly talk about our partner program and why partnering with Impinj is the right decision if you're looking to get into UHF RFID. First, we are absolutely committed to our partner's success. Unlike other UHF vendors out there, we are 100% channel-focused company. We do not employ a direct sales team, so you never have to worry about our taking opportunity from you. In fact, our goal is to bring opportunity to you. We also have a closed partner program. What I mean by closed is that we only allow authorized partners the ability to purchase our products. We have two primary missions for all of our partners. We want to help them differentiate their business in the marketplace, and we want to help them accelerate their profitability on their RFID investments. We have a complete channel program offering that includes comprehensive partner training, dedicated sales and technical support, and of course, access to our market-leading product portfolio. And if you're interested in taking the next steps with us and would like to apply to become an authorized Impinj partner, please feel free to contact me or Adam, and we'd be happy to further discuss partnership opportunities with you. Now, that's all of the materials that I have for you today. So I'd like to now open up the question and answer session for the remaining time. So if you do have a question, please type it into the Q&A box on the right side of the screen. And if for any reason we are unable to get to your question on the call today, Adam or I will be sure to follow up with you offline. So we'll go ahead and just take a moment here and bring up the questions.
And something I do want to add, Peter, since you mentioned it, the Impinj channel, the network that you guys have established is really, really valuable. I mean, there's a lot of, especially in the security industry, there's a lot of, low bidding, things like that where people aren't really seeing the return on their own investment, where you're talking about dealers that are going through getting trained, actually doing the work, but then they get undercut or underbid, based on the hardware. But Impinj is really, really committed to the fact that they want people who are going to be able to provide those solutions. And I think that really meshes well with Transtech's business model in that we want to work with people who are actually out there providing really good solutions and really good opportunities for customers. And Impinj supports that 100%. Do we have any questions coming in? Anybody have any questions about the technology or about what we can do with it? All right. Well, if we don't have any questions coming in, I mean, I definitely appreciate everybody's time, and it was a very good opportunity to present this to you. But we're really, really excited about the potential there. Again, there's a lot of crossover with our current existing markets. There's a lot of added value that we see with UHF as a technology platform, and there's a lot, as Peter mentioned, not just in the security market, but there's so many additional things that you can do with UHF RFID. That there's really anything that can be thought of, any sort of application or idea that hasn't yet been possible. UHF allows a lot of those actual needs to be addressed with a completely new and innovative technology. So it's really something we look forward to seeing develop out there in the market, and we want to work with our dealer channel to actually address a lot of those needs. As Peter mentioned, we're both completely available. You guys have our contact information, and we'll be sending out a follow-up email to all those that joined us today. As it comes up, or if you have any sort of opportunities or even an idea, of a particular application or a particular market, we're more than happy to discuss that and kind of go over what we can do to actually implement those solutions.
Hey, Adam, I apologize. I was on mute. We do have several questions here.
Oh, great.
I'd like to go over those. Do you have any entry-level software that is designed for small, basic, entry-level installations?
I'll cover that one. Absolutely. Yeah, there's a few things that we can do. First, the Speedway Connect, very, very basic, very intro as far as one-to-one tag reading and filtering. We've also partnered with a company. It's Simply RFID, and essentially it's a comprehensive software. So it'll give you everything that you need to register, enroll, track, and get reports as far as assets, personnel, and again that video surveillance that we mentioned earlier. So it's a complete software. You're not having to go blind or anything with it. It's a full package that we can offer. We'll be sending out a little bit more information on that.
Thanks, Adam. We had another question. I think you just tackled that one, and that is, does TransTac have any out-of-the-box solutions ready, or is it up to us, the partner, to develop the solution?
It goes both ways. First, yes, absolutely, we do. We have a UHF kit, so it's essentially a plug-and-play kit. It includes the software. It includes all the hardware that you're going to need. What it'll do is it'll be ready to implement, on a small or test scale, and you can very, very easily add on to that. One of the things that we didn't really cover, but I think is another great value, is the scalability. Because of that Gen 2 standard, because everything is standardized, you can very, very easily upscale and implement UHF. Say start with an access control system, very easy to move that on to an inventory management system just by simply adding more tags and enrolling them in their system. But yes, we do have a kit. We do have a very easy setup and everything that we can walk you through.
Got a couple more questions just about applications in general. How do you prevent someone from taking the tag off of an asset, putting the tag in the trash, and then just walking out the door with an untagged asset?
That's a fair question. And that's a fair question with security and asset management in general. One of the things that I see is that because UHF the tags are essentially a flat paper label, you can really easily put them in or integrate them with your assets to a way where they're not obviously conspicuous. So, you go into a retail store and you have one of those big, button things, and that's obviously a security feature. With UHF, the tags can be, sewn into to a label. They can be put on the inside of a box. You don't actually need line of sight with UHF because of the way that the technology works. Really, any orientation or any way that it's going, you can put it in there and hide it essentially to where it's not going to be apparently obvious that that's what it's there for.
And on a similar note, what if that item were to be wrapped in aluminum foil?
Well, you know, that is, I mean, that's fair. That is a limitation. You know, if it's somebody's going to go through the effort to actually really hide it, it's possible. But if somebody's going through that effort, they're going to find a way. I mean, you know, if you're looking just strictly loss prevention or something like that, I mean, nothing's ever going to be 100%. But the fact is that, you know, a good 80% of those, you know, the people who are trying to do that sort of thing aren't necessarily going to take that step. You know, some people are always going to find a way, truthfully. But the fact is that it's so seamless and so easy to adopt, and the fact that the tags are so inexpensive makes it really easy to deploy.
I've got a couple questions about the Impinj Partner Program and what are some of our requirements. One of the key things to our partner program is technical training. So we do ask that our partners invest in both our technical training programs as well as acquire a reader for demo and customer support purposes. We have a great partner demo program in place where you can save up to 50% off the MSRP price, and Adam knows all about that program. Feel free to contact me or him, and we can get you set up in that process for becoming an Impinj partner. Got a couple questions here asking if the slide deck will be available. Yes, we will make this slide deck available, and we'll notify you once that is ready for you.
I think as well, Peter, we're going to put the webinar, we've got this recorded, and we're going to put this up and send out the link to everybody.
I got a question here about training programs. So we have for 2 training programs. We have an instructor-led course, which is a 2-day hands-on, in-depth, advanced RFID training, and that's really designed for the person that will be working directly with our reader. And then we also have an online training program, which is essentially a 6-module-based course, and that's going to cover everything from general UHF RFID information to product-specific information for Impinj products. If you're interested in those training programs, please let Adam know. Well, it looks like we've reached our time for the day, and that is the end of the questions. But again, if any of you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me or Adam. We are here to help you. Thanks again for joining us, and thanks, Adam, for making this possible.
Oh, absolutely, and thank you, Peter, as well, and thanks for everybody for joining us. Again, really excited about this. There's a lot of potential, and we definitely see it as both a growth opportunity for our channel, as well as a chance to really do some unique and interesting things.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good day.